Today you'll learn how to build a Next.js video player. We'll cover all of the core features that you would want, for example, uploading videos, handling thumbnails, generating thumbnails, having video watermarks or overlays, looking at things like changing the playback speed or the quality or format of the videos. This will cover everything you need to have a solid base for a video display or video playing type application so that you can go and extend it and have it work for your own application. All of the code that I write in this video will be available from the link in the description. In order to do this, we will be using something called ImageKit, who has kindly sponsored this video, but more on that later. So quickly, what I'd like to do is just give you a demo of the finished app. Keep in mind, it's not fully complete. The idea is to give you a base so you can extend it and have it in your application. So you can see that I have the ability to upload videos here. I can choose a video file, thumbnail, and even a watermark. Once videos are uploaded, they will show up in the library where we'll be able to see the different thumbnails, the title, the date, all of that kind of stuff. If we click into a video here, you'll see the video player, which is the core part of this application, shows up. It loads the poster or the thumbnail, and then we can press play. We can adjust the volume. We can make it full screen. We can change, for example, the playback speed or download it picture in picture. We can adjust the quality, which we'll talk about later, and you get the idea. Now, if we open up some other videos, you can see that they load quite quickly. And if you actually have, let's mute it, you'll see that there is a watermark image. It's kind of a little bit difficult to see because the player is covering it in the bottom right-hand corner. So I'm going to show you how to add that as well, which is pretty cool and a unique feature to ImageKit, which we're going to be using in order, again, to handle kind of the videos, thumbnails, etc. So with that said, let's get into the video. Quick disclaimer, this is not designed for beginners, and I am going to assume that you have some TypeScript and Next.js experience because I won't be explaining the framework. I'll just be showing you how to build the video player. So let's begin and start setting up this application. Now, the first step is just to open some code editor. So in my case, I'm using VS Code, but you can use anything that you want. And then what we're going to do is just create a new Next.js project. So from the terminal here in VS Code, I'm going to run the command npx create-next-app at latest, and then I'm going to give it the name my video player, but you can call this anything that you want. And in order for this command to work, of course, you need Node.js installed. Now we're going to use custom settings. So we're going to go custom settings, TypeScript, yes, ESLint, yes, React compiler, no, Tailwind, no. Do you want to use the code inside src directory? Yes, we do. Would you like to use the app router? Yes, we would. Would you like to customize the import alias? No. And then we're good to go, and it will start setting up the project for us. All right, so the project is created, and the next thing that we'll do is just install a package that we need. So we're going to say npmi, and then this is at ImageKit/next. We're going to need to use this because we're going to use ImageKit for handling the video storage as well as the delivery and optimization. And actually, I just realized, sorry, we're going to cancel that because I accidentally just did that in the root directory when I want to do that inside of the project. So we're going to cd into my video player and then just rerun that command so that we install it inside of this project, not in the wrong directory. Okay, cool. So that is installed, and we now have the app kind of built here, or at least we have the structure of it. And what we're going to do is just create a new .env file inside of here because we do need a few environment variables in order for this application to work. Now, just to give you a bit of insight into the architecture here, because we need to upload videos, we are going to be using kind of the backend related features of Next.js, where we'll have a few API endpoints that can actually give us the correct kind of authorization to upload a video, upload it for us, and then we're going to have another endpoint that can actually retrieve the video, right, and allow us to have the information that we need to display it on the user interface. Now, as I mentioned, for the image and video related capabilities, we are going to be using ImageKit. Now, ImageKit is an image and video API plus an AI-powered DAM. It makes it extremely easy to work with images and videos and to store them, optimize them, transform them, and manage them so that you don't need to worry about all of that complexity and you can focus just on building the application. It's very easy to work with, and you can try it for free just by clicking the link that's in the description. And that is going to be the first step to proceed in this video. We do need an account here so that we can start using this API for handling all of the videos. One of the key advantages of ImageKit is that it allows you to do transformations just by directly changing the URL of the video. So for example, if you wanted captions, if you wanted an overlay, if you wanted to change the quality or the format, rather than having to do anything complex, you can just add a query parameter into the URL of the video you want to load, and it will automatically transform that for you. Not only does it work with videos, but it works with images, and I've used them plenty of times on this channel. That's why I'm comfortable having them here, obviously, and it's just going to make our life a lot easier. So as I mentioned, make a new account here. Again, it is free, and then go to your ImageKit dashboard because we're going to need to go here and get some API keys in order to work with ImageKit. So from here, you'll see you have like a media library. You can see that I've been using it previously. You have a bunch of other stuff. You can look at the settings, usage, etc. But what we're concerned with is the developer options. So we're going to go to the developer options here. I'm just going to split it so it goes on the other side of my screen. And what we're going to do is put some variables inside of our environment variable file. Now, the first one is going to be exposed to our front end. So this is going to be next public underscore ImageKit underscore URL underscore endpoint. And we're going to make this equal to, let's make this a little bit larger here, the URL endpoint that you see right here in the developer options. We're then going to have another one, and this is going to be the ImageKit. So this needs to be in capitals. The ImageKit underscore public underscore key. Okay, we'll put that in a second. And then we need the ImageKit underscore private underscore key. For the public key, we'll copy this value right here and just paste it in. And for the private key, we will expose this where we need the password and then paste it in as well. So I've just placed those values inside of my environment variable file. I don't want to leak them to you, so I've just closed it now. And what we can do is start setting up the scaffolding for the application. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to have to set up a little bit of a backend with some API endpoints for handling uploading and then getting the videos. And rather than us creating a custom database or using something like Postgres or MongoDB, we're just going to simplify things and use a local storage option where we're going to store some of the video data in a JSON file. Now, when I say the video data, I mean the metadata, so like the title of the video, the thumbnail or something, but we're not going to store the actual assets like, the thumbnail image or the video image. Those are going to be stored on ImageKit where it can be optimized for us automatically. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into SRC here, and we're just going to start scaffolding the application. So we're going to make a new folder directly in SRC called lib. We're also going to make another new folder. This is going to be called styles. We'll make another new folder. This will be called types. And then we'll make one last folder again inside of SRC here, called components like so. Now, I've already written all of the styles for this application. So rather than us coding them all out and just taking a really long time and you guys just copying me, what I'm going to suggest you do is just copy the different style sheets or CSS files directly from GitHub, which will be linked below, and then drag them into your application. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy in the various styles, and you see we have global, library, upload, and watch.css. It has all of the different classes. Everything is already written. You can have a look at it if you want, but this is going to avoid us having to write everything from scratch. So I've just placed them again inside of this styles.css file. All right, so from here, we're going to create the files we need in these directories just so we kind of scaffold the project. And then we'll go in the app directory and we'll create some more files that we need there. So for types, we're just going to have a new file here called video.ts just for the type of a video. Then for the lib, we are going to have video-storage.ts. This is going to act kind of like our database. We then are going to go in components. We're going to make a folder called video. And then inside of video, we're going to make a new folder called player. Okay, so it should be 3 folders. Inside of the video folder, we're going to create a new file called the video player.tsx. We're going to make another new file here, and this is going to be the video upload.tsx, and that should be inside of the video folder. Okay. And then inside of the player folder, we're going to make a new file, and we're going to call this the simple player.tsx. Feel free to change the directory structure if you like, but this way it's going to keep nice and organized. Okay, so those are the components that we're going to need. We're then going to go into app, and we're going to start creating the files that we need there. So first of all, we can just remove the CSS files. So we don't need those. We can also remove the icon file and just delete them for now. We then are going to make a new folder. This is going to be called API. We're going to make another new folder. This is going to be called upload. And we're going to make one last one called watch. Now, I know that there's a lot of changes here, but I'm just doing them now so that we have the whole scaffolding set up, and then we can just go between the files and we can write all of the code that we need. Now, for watch, this is going to represent the route for watching a video. So you're going to go to /watch, and then we're going to make a new folder, and we're going to put in square brackets ID, and this is going to be the route for the individual ID of the video it is that you want to watch. So if you go to /watch/some numeric ID, then we're going to have a new file called page.tsx, right? Where we're then going to render the page for this URL or this route. That's just how Next.js works. So that's the convention or style that we're going with. Then for upload, we're going to make page.tsx as well. So same thing, if you go to /upload, you will be routed to this page. Then for the API, this is going to be for our backend API routes. So we're going to have two routes here. We're going to have upload-auth, okay? And we're going to have another one, and this is going to be called videos. And then inside of videos, we're going to have, again, this kind of dynamic ID. So if you go to videos and then this ID, we will have a route inside of here. So we're going to just create our routes now. So we're going to say route.ts, and then inside of videos, we're going to have route.ts. And then inside of upload auth, we're going to have route.ts, and that should actually be all of the different files that we need. So let's close these. As you can see, if we go to upload auth, we have this route that we're going to render. If we have videos and then some dynamic ID, it will be this route. And if we just go to videos, then it will be this route. So just videos will give us all the videos. Individual ID will give us the data just about that one individual video. All right, so that scaffolds the entire application, and now we can start writing some code. I want to start with the back end, and then we'll move to the front end. Now, the way that uploading a video will work is we're essentially going to submit a request to the back end to say, hey, we want to upload a video. The back end is then going to verify if we can upload a video. So if for some reason we need to be signed in, whatever, it's then going to generate a unique token for us that we can send to the front end that will allow it to upload one video. So the reason why we want to restrict the access of uploading videos to be on the back end and kind of grant the front end permission is to ensure that people cannot abuse the video uploading, because if we just had access to, say, the private key for ImageKit on the front end or the user interface of our application, then anyone could upload videos to our ImageKit app. We don't want that. We want them to have to at least go through our API so that we could control maybe how many videos they upload, how big the video is, all of those kind of things. So the basic idea is our backend is going to use the ImageKit credentials. It's going to generate a token. That token will allow the user to upload one video. We will send the token to the front end. They'll then upload the video. And if they wanted to do another one, they would ask the backend again. You can make this as secure or insecure as you want, but this is the basic setup and flow that you should follow. So what we're going to do is go in this upload auth route here, and we're going to say import, and then we're going to import the get upload auth parameters from the ImageKit /next/server. Now, if we look at this function, you can see this function, let's read it, generates the authentication parameters required for uploading files to ImageKit. It is intended to be used on the server only. So what it will do is return the authentication parameters, including token, signature, and expiration time, that will allow someone who has access to that token to upload a video. Since that token expires, it's safe for us to use that rather than just have access to the full private key on the front end. We're then going to import the next response from next/server, and we're going to say export async function, and this is going to be a GET request. And what we're going to do is just simply generate the authentication parameters that we need. So in order to do that, we're going to have a simple try and a catch block. Okay, so just catch the error here. Now in the try block, we're going to say const private key is equal to, and this is going to be process.env.imagekit_private_key. We're then going to say const, let's spell this correctly, public key is equal to process.env.imagekit_public_key. Okay, so now we have the private and public key. We're going to say if, so right here, let's put our semicolon. So if not private key or not public key, then we're just going to return an error. So we're going to say return like this, the next response. And for the next response, this is going to be .json. And then inside of the JSON, we're just going to say error like this. And we're going to say ImageKit keys not configured. Okay, cool. Now, if that's not the case, we are going to return a next response as well, .json. And this time inside of the JSON, what we're going to do is we're going to have ... and this is going to be get upload auth parameters. And we're going to pass to this the private key as well as the public key inside of an object, as well as the public key. Okay, so the public key is fine to share with the front end, and we do need that as well. So this is going to give us the unique token, right? That again is fine to share, as well as the public key. And then in our catch statement here, we are just going to say console.error, and we'll just say upload auth error, and then we can just display whatever that error is. And then same thing, we can return a next response.json, and this can just say error and then say failed to generate credentials. Cool. So that's going to be all we need for getting the information to upload a video. Now, next what we'll do is we're actually going to go to lib and we're going to write to this video storage module that we're going to need to use to store the information about the videos that we upload. So before we can do that, let's first actually go to types, because we're going to need to declare the type of a video in order to use it properly in TypeScript. So we're going to say export interface, and then this is going to be video, like so. For a video, we're going to have an ID, which is a string. We're going to have a title, which is a string. We're going to have a description, which is a string as well. Almost all of these are going to be strings, actually. We're going to have a file path, which is a string. We're going to have a file name, which is a string. We're going to have a thumbnail path. Okay, so let's spell thumbnail correct. I think that's fine. And this is going to be a string, but it's going to be optional. We're then going to have a duration. Okay, and this is going to be a number, which again is optional. We're then going to have a created at, which is going to be a string. We're then going to have a watermark, which again is going to be optional. And this is going to be a watermark config, which is going to be a new type that we'll write in 1 second. We then are going to have quality question mark, and this is going to be a number. And we're going to have format, and this is going to be optional as well, and either auto, okay, or MP4, or this is WebM. Okay, so I know that's a lot, but that's the type for a video. And then we're going to have another interface. We're going to say export interface, and then this is going to be watermark config, and this is going to be an image path. Okay, I'll explain this in a second, which is a string. We're going to have a position for the watermark, and this is going to be top underscore left, okay, or this is going to be top underscore right, or bottom underscore left, okay, or bottom underscore right. Okay, and then we're going to have an opacity, so opacity, and this is going to be a number. Same thing, this will be optional. And then we're going to have a width. This will be optional as well, which is a number. Okay, so these are the two types that we need. Now, watermark is going to be some kind of image that's going to appear in one of these positions on the video. So you might have seen, like on YouTube, they have watermarks on the videos if the creator wants the watermark to be there. So we have the same ability here in ImageKit, and that's why we've created this interface. Okay, so now we're going to go back to video storage, and we're going to start writing that because now we have the type to be able to write it. So we're going to say import video, and that's going to be from, and this will be @/types/video. Cool, we're then going to import fs, which is file system, from fs, and we're going to import path from, and this is going to be path. Okay, then we're going to say const, and we're going to say data underscore file is equal to path.join, and this is going to be the process.cwd, which is current working directory, and then we're going to say data, and then videos.json. So the idea is we're going to have a new folder called data that's going to store a file called videos.json inside of the current working directory. We're then going to have a few functions. The first will be read data. What this is going to return is videos, and this is going to be of type video, which is an array. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to say const directory is equal to path.dirname. Okay, and then this is going to be the data underscore file. So this is going to read in all of the videos that we currently have. And let's make sure this is a function. Okay, we're then going to say if not fs, okay, dot exists sync. And then this is going to be the directory. Then what we're going to do is create it. So we're going to say fs dot make, or sorry, mkdir, and then sync. And we're going to put the directory like so, and then we're going to put recursive is equal to true. We're then going to have another if here, and we're going to say if not fs dot, and this is exists sync again, and this is going to be the data file. Then what we need to do is create the data file. So we're going to say fs dot write file sync. Okay, and here we're going to have the data file. We're then going to have json dot stringify, and we are going to put inside of here, videos, and then an empty array. And then we're going to put outside of this, but inside of the function call, null and then 2. Now what this is going to do is essentially just create a new JSON object, which is an empty videos array, because if we don't have this file, well, we don't have any videos. We're going to say, okay, we don't want any, I forget what that parameter was, any replacer, but we want to have an indentation level of 2. Okay, we're then going to return JSON.parse, and then we're going to say fs dot, and this is going to be read file sync, and we are just going to read the data file with UTF-8 as the encoding type. Okay, so that's going to give us the ability to read one of the files that contains the video data, again, acting like kind of reading the database because we're just using a local file. We're then going to say function write data, okay, and then we're going to say data colon and then videos, and this is going to be video, which is an array because that's what it is writing. We're then going to say void, and what we're going to do is say sf dot, and this is write file sync, and we're going to write to the data file the JSON, okay, like this dot stringify, and then this is just going to be whatever the data is, and then null, and same thing too. Okay, so these are some internal functions to read and write the data to the file. We're then going to have an export function, and this is going to be get all videos, and what this is going to do is return a list of videos, which is an array. And what we're going to do is say return, and then this is going to be read data. So let's go read data like so, and then dot videos or an empty array. Okay, then we're going to have another function. So it's going to be export function get video by ID. This is going to take in an ID, which is a string, and this is going to return video or undefined as the type. Let's make sure we don't miss the colon. Okay, then what we're going to do here is we're going to say return, and this is going to be read data. Okay, so we're going to read data dot videos dot find, and we're going to say v like this, v dot id is equal to id to find the correct video. All right, then lastly down here we're going to say export function save video. To save a video, we're going to need the video data, right? And then what we can do is just return a new video object, and we're going to say const data is equal to read data. Then we're going to say data dot videos dot push. Okay, and we're going to push in the video. We're then going to say write data. We're going to write the new data, and we're going to return the video. Perfect. And that is all we need for the video storage. So now that we have the video storage, we can go back to our routes. We're actually going to go to the upload routes now. So videos and then just this main one here. So we're going to go videos and then this main one here. And inside of this videos route, we're going to have two functions. One that's going to get all of the videos and one that's going to give us the ability to create a new video. So the upload auth will give us the token that we need in order to upload a video. But then when we want to save the video, we're going to have that inside of this route here, which you'll see in 1 second. So what we're going to do is say import, and then this is going to be the next request as well as the next response from the next server. We're then going to import the get all videos as well as the save video function from our lib. We're going to import the video type from our types file, so not from ImageKit Next, but from, and then this is going to be at, and then types slash video, and I think it's going to be like this. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to import, and this is going to be v4 as UUID v4 from, and this is UUID. Okay, to get a unique identifier for the videos. And I believe we may need to install this package if we don't already have it installed. So let's just pull this up and go npmi and then UUID. Okay, perfect. And it looks like it was installed, and now we're not getting any errors. Perfect. So the first function we can write is pretty straightforward. We're going to say export async function, and then this is just going to be get in all capitals. So this will be the get route. And we're going to say try, and what we're going to do is return the next response .json, and then this is going to be videos colon and then get all videos. Okay, now if there's an error, so we're going to catch on error, then what we can do is just return the next response .json, and we can say error like that, and then we're going to say failed to fetch videos like so. And we can additionally return a status here. So we can say status of 500. Okay, so that should be all that we need for that. Then we're going to have another one, and we're going to say export, and this is going to be async, okay, function, and this is going to be post. Now what we're going to take in here is a request, which is going to be the next request. So let's put it like that. And what we will do is we will say try, and we're going to try to save the video. And let's just have a catch down here as well on the error. Okay, so for the try, what we're going to do is say const body is equal to await request dot JSON. Okay, like that. So wait till we get the JSON data. We're then going to say const video, and this is going to be of type video is equal to, and we're going to make the video object. So for the video, we need an ID. So this is going to be UUID fee4, so we can generate the unique value there. We're then going to say the title, and this is going to be the body.title, or we're just going to say untitled video. Okay, we're then going to have the description, which is going to be equal to the body.description, or just an empty string. We're then going to have the file path. Okay, and this is going to be the body.file path, like so. We're then going to have the file name, and this is going to be the body.file name. We're then going to have the thumbnail path, which is going to be equal to the body.thumbnail path, or empty string. Then we're going to have the duration, which is the body.duration. Then we're going to have created at, and this is going to be new date.to ISO string, like so. And then we're going to have the watermark, which is equal to the body.watermark. Okay, cool. All right, so that's going to be our video. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say return next, and this is going to be response.json. And what we're going to do here is say video is equal to save video, and then we're going to put the status, and this is going to be 201, which stands for successfully created. Cool. And then for our error, we're just going to say return next response.json, and then this is going to say error, and it's going to say failed to create video, and we're going to say status, and for the status here, we will just go with 500. Okay, so that's all we need now for this route. So this will allow us to get all of the videos as well as to create a new video. Now, while we're here, let's just write the route for an individual video, and then we are good to go. Okay, so for the individual video, this is pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is say import, and then this is going to be the next response from the next server, and we're going to import the get video by ID from our storage. We're then going to say export async function get, like so. And what this is going to do here is it's going to take in a request with an underscore because we actually don't need this, and this is just going to be the default request type. And then we're going to say params like this, and this is going to be equal to params colon promise, and then this is going to be of ID colon string. So the reason why we wrote this is because we need to get the parameters. I need the parameters because this is going to be a parameterized route, right? Or like kind of path parameter with the ID. So I need to get the ID of the video that they're trying to access. So I'm going to say try, and then I'm going to say const video. So let's go like this. Const video is equal to get video by ID. And we're just going to await the params.id like so. And what I can do is just put await params and then access the ID. Now I'm going to say if not video, then just return, and this can be the next response.json, and then here we're going to say error, and then this is going to be video not found, okay, like so, and we can return a status of 404. Okay, now otherwise we can just return the next response.json. Let's make sure that's not indented. Okay, and then this is just going to be the video like that. Perfect. Now otherwise, we're going to have catch on the error, and then same thing, we're just going to return the next response.json. We're going to have the error, which is failed. Okay, failed to fetch like this video, and then status like so. So status of 500. Okay, So that's all we need for that, and that's actually going to close out our backend. So now we have the upload auth, we have getting an individual video, we have getting all of videos, and we have saving a video. Now, what we're going to have to do next is we're going to have to write the upload page as well as the kind of core containers for our application. So what we'll do is we'll start by going to our layout component here, and let's just start modifying this because we actually don't need most of what's here. So I'm going to remove all of this font stuff because we just don't need any of the fonts. We can remove the global import, and actually we can remove this meta as well. Now here, let's get rid of these class names, and we're going to modify this in a second. Okay, so first thing, let's write the imports. So we're going to say import, and then this is going to be at, okay, and then slash styles slash globals.css. We're then going to import the ImageKit provider from ImageKit Next, and we're going to import link from next/link. Okay, so for the layout, what we're going to do is we'll have the HTML, we'll have the body, but then inside of the body, we need to put the ImageKit provider so that we can actually use the ImageKit components. So we're going to say ImageKit provider like so. All right, and then inside of the ImageKit provider, we can have the children. And for the ImageKit provider, I believe we need to pass the URL. So we're going to say URL endpoint is equal to the process.env.next underscore public. Okay, so public underscore ImageKit underscore URL underscore endpoint. And then inside of here, we're just going to build a super simple nav bar. So we're just going to have a nav bar. For the nav bar, we're going to have class name is equal to nav. Now inside of the nav, we're going to have a div. For the first div here, we're going to say class name is equal to, and this is nav dash container. Then we're going to have another div. Okay, so div like this, and we're going to say class name is equal to nav dash links. And then we're just going to have some links in the nav bar. So we're going to have a simple link component. The first one is going to be href is equal to a slash, and it's going to say class name is equal to the nav dash button. And then for this, it's going to say library. Okay. And that's going to be the first link. Now let's just make sure we spell link correctly because that was giving us an issue. Okay. And let's now copy this. And for the next one, this is going to be upload, and it's going to go to /upload, and same thing, it will be a nav button. Okay, so that should be that. And then outside of the nav, we're just going to have a main component. We're going to say class name. So class name like this is equal to main, and we're just going to put our children inside of main. So this is the layout that will render for every single page that we have. So again, we have the ImageKit provider, so we're wrapping it all in this, so we have access to the ImageKit context and components and stuff. We then have the main as well as the nav bar wrapped inside of the body and the HTML. Okay, so that should be good for the layout. Now what we can do is start writing some of the other components. The next component we'll write will be the video upload component. All right, so for the upload, this is going to be a client component because we're going to have to have some different form elements here that we'll be uploading or updating, sorry. So we're going to go use client at the top. We're then going to import use state. Okay, this is going to be from React. We're then going to import upload here. So let's go upload from, and this is going to be at ImageKit/next. We're then going to import the use router from the next slash, this is actually going to be navigation. Okay, like that. And then we're going to import the style sheet that we need. So we're going to say at /styles/upload.css. Okay, then we're going to say export default, and this is going to be function and then video upload with the parameters like so. Now for the video upload, we're going to have kind of a form, right? Because we need to ask the user for like the video title, the video description, the video file, the video thumbnail, any watermarks. So it's going to look a little bit complex, but that's just because we need to collect all of those values, and then we're kind of good to go. So let's start with our state. So we're going to say const router is equal to use router. The reason why we're using the router is after the user uploads a video, we can redirect them to that video. We're then going to say const form set form. Let's just have one comma here, is going to be equal to use state. And then this is going to be title, empty string, and then description, empty string. We're then going to say const file and then set files. Sorry, so files is going to be equal to use state. And then for this, we're going to have like this, the record, okay, which is going to be a string, file, or null. And then for the default state, this is going to be an object. We're going to say video null, thumbnail null, and watermark null, like so. Okay, cool. So that's that. We're then going to have const, and we're going to say loading like this is equal to use state and then false. And we're going to say const error set error is equal to use state, and then this can be an empty string. Okay, so that's going to handle all of the state for us. Next, what we're going to do is have a function. So the first function will be to upload the file. So we're going to say const upload file, and this is going to be equal to async, and then this is going to be file, which will be of type file, and then folder, which is of type string. Okay, and this is going to be const auth like so is equal to, and this is going to be await fetch, and we're going to fetch our backend, which is /API/upload-auth. Okay, and we're going to say .then. We're going to take our request, and we're going to return our .json. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to say return upload, and we're going to say file name, and then this is going to be the file.name, and we're going to say folder, comma, and then .auth. So you can see we're using the upload function directly from ImageKit here. What we're doing though, first of all, is we're getting the auth details that we need from the backend, and then we're going to upload it like this. Okay. So once we get the authentication details, we upload the data to ImageKit, and then afterwards we'll save that data in the database, assuming the upload was successful. Okay, so that's the upload file function. Next, what we're going to do is just write the form, and then we'll write the rest of the functions. So we're going to say return, and we're going to have a form here. So let's go /form. So for the form, we're going to say on submit, and this is going to be equal to a function that we'll write in 1 second. So actually, let's just quickly stub it. So we can say const and then handle submit. And for handle submit, this can just be an arrow function, and then we can put handle submit like so, and then we're going to give a class name. So we're going to say class name is equal to the upload-form like so. Okay, cool. Now, first thing, we're just going to display an error if it exists. So we're going to say error and then we're going to have a quick div. The div will be class name equal to, and then this is going to be the upload-error. Okay, like that. And then we'll display the variable, which is the error. Okay, we're then going to say div, and we're going to say class name is equal to form-group. Then we're going to have a label. Okay, and for the label, we're going to say class name is equal to form-label, and then we can make this title. Then we can have an input field. So the first input field we'll have will be for the title. So for the input, this should actually just be one component. We're going to say type is equal to text, and let's just put this inside so that's a little bit easier for us to see. We're going to say value is equal to the form dot title like so. We're going to say onChange is equal to e, and then this is a function which is going to be set form, so set form like so, and then we're going to say f, and then this is going to be inside of here. We're going to say ... and then f title, and then e.target.value like so. Okay, then we're going to say the class name is equal to the form-input, and we're going to say the placeholder is equal to video title like so. And let's spell placeholder correctly. Okay, and I think that's all we need for this input. Maybe we can just format this quickly so it looks a little bit nicer. Okay, cool. So let's copy this div and let's just paste it down here because we're going to have another form group. For this form group, same thing. Let's just format it. We're going to change it from rather than title to be description. And then this is going to say description as well. And then same thing, description, and then we can say video description like that. Okay, cool. Then we are going to just write another form group. So let me just copy this div, and now we're just going to have the file uploads. So let's bring this guy in. So for this form group, we're going to have a label, class name, same thing is going to be equal to the form dash label. For the label, we're going to say video file, and then we're going to put asterisks like that so you know it's required. And then we're going to put input. Okay, and for this input, it's going to be type is equal to file. We're then going to say accept. Okay, and for the video, this is going to be video slash asterisk because that's the type that we're going to accept. And then we're going to say on change, and we're just going to say set file. So set file. Now set file is a function that we haven't written yet, so don't worry, we'll write that in 1 second. Now we're just going to paste this 2 times. And again, let me just format this quickly. And we're just going to change these. So rather than video, we're going to say thumbnail file. And then we're going to say set file thumbnail. And this is going to be image, I believe. That should be good. Okay, then this one is going to be image as well. And this is going to be the watermark file, which is going to be marked as optional. And then this will say watermark like so. And then lastly, we're going to put a button. Okay, for this button, it's just going to say loading question mark. We're going to put uploading. Otherwise, we're going to put upload as the text. For the button, we're going to say type is equal to submit, so it submits the form. And we're going to say disabled is equal to, and this is going to be loading or files.video, not files.video, sorry, because if we don't have a video, well, we cannot upload it. And then we're going to say the class name is equal to the submit button. Cool. So now let's write this set file function that we need. So to set the file, we're going to have another function, and we're going to say const set file. Now to set the file, we're going to take in the following. So this is going to be an arrow function, which is going to take in a key, and this is a string, and it's going to return an E, and this is going to be react.change event like so. And this is going to be of type HTML input element. And then this is going to be the arrow. And what we're going to do inside of this function is say set files. And we're going to take in F, and we're going to say that we're doing the following. So .f. So in an object .f. And then this is going to be the key that they submitted, colon E dot target. Okay, so target dot files question mark dot 0 or null. Okay, so when we call set file, it's going to give us a new function which takes in the React change event. We're then going to see, okay, what files were they actually uploading? We're going to take that file, associate that with the array here, right, for our state, and then we're good to go. So now we just need to write the handle submit function, and then we are finished. So for handling the submit, we're going to make this async, and we're going to take in E. We're then going to say e.prevent, okay, default, I think it's like this, e.prevent default so that we don't refresh the page. We're then going to say if not, and this is going to be files.video, then you can just return because we need a video to upload. We're then going to say set loading is true, and set error is an empty string. We're then going to have a try and a catch, and we're going to attempt to upload the video. So in the try, we're going to say const, and then this is going to be video resolution, thumbnail resolution, or resolve, or whatever you want to call it, WM resolve is equal to await, and that's going to be promise.all. And we're going to have 3 promises. The first is going to be the upload file, where we're going to take the files.video, and then we're going to take /videos as the folder we want to upload it to. Now we need to spell those correctly, so promise and upload file needs to be spelled like that. Okay, so we're going to upload the file into this directory. This is the video that we're uploading. We're then going to say files.thumbnail question mark, okay, and if we have that, we're going to say upload file, and then this is going to be files.thumbnail, and then /thumbnails or null. Okay, and then same thing, we're just going to copy this, paste it down here, and we're going to replace this with watermark. So if we have a watermark, okay, then it needs to go there. So watermark, and then same thing in /watermark. Perfect. So that's going to attempt asynchronously to upload all of the different content that we need. We're then going to say const res is equal to await, and then we're going to store this data in the backend. So we're going to say /API/videos, and we're going to specify that the method here is going to be post. We're then going to say the headers is equal to content-type, and then this is going to be of type application/JSON. And then we're going to have the body, and the body is going to be JSON.stringify, and it is going to stringify the object that contains the data that we need for the video. So we're going to say title is equal to, and this is going to be form.title. Okay, and then we're going to have the description, which is going to be form.description. We're then going to have the file path, which is going to be video res.file path or an empty string. We're then going to have the file name, which is video res.name or files.video.name. Okay, we're then going to have the thumbnail path, which is going to be the thumb res dot file path, or this will be an empty string. And then we're going to have the watermark. Okay, and this is going to be wm res and then we're going to take the image path, okay, which is wm res dot file path or an empty string, and then the position, okay, because for the watermark we need more stuff, so we're going to say bottom right, and then the opacity is going to be 0.7, like so. And then the width we will say is 120, okay, colon undefined. So effectively we're saying, okay, is there a watermark? If there is a watermark, we need all of this information for the watermark. We need to know, like, where's the location, what's the opacity, what's the width, what's the image path. If not, then we just put undefined. Okay, then what we can do is we can say if res dot, and this is going to be okay. So if that has resolved, or sorry, if not res dot okay, then we can just throw new error like this, and the error can be failed to save. Okay, otherwise we can say const, so const like so, video is equal to await res.json, and then we can say router dot push, and we can push to, in backticks, the /watch/ and then this can be the video ID. So let's do this, the video dot ID like so. Okay, and let me just add my semicolon so we can tab this in here, and we should be good to go. Okay, and then last thing, we just need to catch the error. So we're going to say, all right, catch an error. For the error, we're going to say set error, and then this is going to be error, okay, instance of error error dot message, otherwise upload failed. Okay, and then we're going to say set loading like this to false. Okay, cool. So that is going to complete the handle submit function, and that will actually complete this entire component. So let me zoom out a little bit. You can see that we have the form, we have the set file function, we have the handle submit function, which is actually uploading the video for us. Okay, now for E, it's going to give us some error. So let's just do react.form like this, form event, even though it's deprecated, just so that we don't get some error there. We have upload file, we have all of the state, and we should be good to go to actually upload something now. So because this was the video upload component, what we're going to do is we're just going to go to our app here. We're going to go to upload, we're going to go to the page, and we're just going to write a super simple component. So we're going to say import video upload from our components. We're then going to say export default function, and then this can be the upload page. Now for the upload page, we're just going to return a simple div. In the div, we'll have an h1 tag that says upload videos, and then we'll just render the component below it, which is the video upload. Okay, so now because we have that, when we go to /upload, it should bring us to the upload page, and we should be able to upload a video and see it inside of ImageKit. So let's try that. Let's go here and let's run our app. So npm run dev. and let's see if we're able to upload a video. So let's open up this application. And okay, it's giving us some error saying it cannot find page.module.css. So let's quickly fix that from our page.tsx. Okay, so let's just remove that. And actually, let's just scrap everything that's inside of here because we don't need anything. We can just return like a fragment for right now. So let's return a fragment and just remove the imports because we're not going to use that code right now. And there we go. We can now see that we have a library and an upload page. And if we go to upload, we have a very simple upload page. So let's try to upload something. Tim's video, cool vid. And then what we're going to want to do for now is let's just choose a video file and a thumbnail file. So for the video file, let me find one. Okay, so I've just got like a random sponsorship insert I had on my computer, and let me choose a thumbnail file. Okay, and we've got just a random thumbnail, and let's go ahead and press on upload. Now, when we do that, we should see in the backend that it has called these routes. So the upload auth function did get called, as well as the upload one. Let's see now. It's going to take a second to upload, and then once it's finished, we can come back and we can see if it got added to ImageKit and if this upload was working properly. Okay, so I actually just ran into an issue here where the file that I was trying to upload was too large. So on the free plan of ImageKit, you do have a size limit. I believe it's 20, maybe 40 megabytes, but it's not too large. So because of that, I'm not able to upload this video. So what I'll do is I'll just find one that's smaller that I can upload. But just keep that in mind. Of course, if you were to upgrade and get the paid plan, then you can have significantly larger videos that you can upload. Okay, so I just changed the file that I was uploading and it worked. Now, the redirect gave us an issue because we haven't written the component for the other page yet. But if I want to verify if it's working, I can just go to ImageKit. I should now see that I have two folders. So I have a thumbnails folder that was created with the thumbnail that was uploaded. I also have a videos folder now that was uploaded or created with the video that was uploaded. So you can see that it's here. And this is just a random AI generated video that I uploaded here. Cool. Okay, so now the upload is functioning, and we should also be able to see that a new data entry is created here that stores the information about our videos. So we have the ID, title, description, file path, file name, thumbnail path, and then the created at date. So what I want to do now is continue writing the rest of the code so that we actually have, the watch page, we build the video player, we can, display the different videos, etc. So let's do that. So let's go, actually, where it says video player, I just realized this should say video library. So I don't know what I was reading when I did that, but video library, there we go. And now we can write this to display all of our videos. So same thing, this is going to use the client. And what we're going to do is we're going to say import image, and we're going to import the image component from ImageKit. So we're going to say from at, and this ImageKit /next. We're then going to import the video type. So we're going to import video from our types. We're then going to import the link so we can link to the video player. So link from, and then this is going to be next, okay, next/link. And then we're going to say import, and we're going to import our styles. So @/styles, like so, /library.css. Okay, cool. Now we're going to say interface props, because we just need some props for this, is going to be videos, videos like that, or video, and then an array. Okay, so now we're going to say export default function video library. For the video library, we're going to take in some videos, and this is going to be from our props. Okay, so let's go props like so. Then what we're going to do is say const URL endpoint is equal to process.env.next_public_ImageKit_endpoint, or an empty string. And let's spell props correctly with the capital. We're then going to say if the videos.length is equal to 0, then we can return, and we're going to return a div. Now for the div, let's just make sure we put this in braces. We're going to say div, and then this is going to be class name is equal to library-empty. Then we're going to have another div. This is going to be class name, and actually this is going to be a p tag, sorry, not a div. So let's adjust that. We're going to say class name is equal to library-empty, okay, empty-text. Then we're going to say no videos yet, just so that they know. and we're going to have a link so they can upload a video. So we're going to say link like so, and we're going to say upload video. And then we're going to say this is going to go href to /upload. And we're going to say the class name is equal to the library, okay, dash upload dash and then button. Perfect. Now let's go down here and let's actually write the component when it does have videos. So now we're going to have a div. We're going to say class name is equal to library, okay, dash grid. Then we're going to have videos.map, and we're going to take in a video like so. Then for the video, what we're going to return is the following. So actually, rather than doing that, we're just going to put a set of, what do you want to call these, parentheses? Okay. And inside of the parentheses, is this correct? Yeah. What we're going to have is a link. So if they press this component, they're going to go to the video player. For the link, we're going to have href is equal to, and then this is going to be actually in backticks. So we're going to say backticks, and then this should be /watch / and then this is going to be a $, and then the video.id. And we're also going to have a key. So we're going to say key is equal to the video.id because we're going to have multiple inside of here. So we need the key for React. We're then going to have the div. We're going to have the class name is equal to the thumbnail dash card. We're then going to have an image component. And for the image component, this comes directly from ImageKit. We're going to write the different parameters that we need. So we're going to say the URL endpoint is equal to, and then this is going to be the URL endpoint. Okay, we're then going to have src is equal to, and this is going to be the video.thumbnail path. Or I'm going to show you a way that we can actually dynamically generate a thumbnail for the video automatically. So ImageKit has this really cool feature where if you don't upload a thumbnail, or if you just want to generate a thumbnail from a video, you can do that by simply just writing a specific URL. So as I was saying before, ImageKit allows you to do transformations of videos and images just by changing query parameters in a URL. So what we can do is we can actually just use the video file path and then / this path, which is ik-thumbnail, and it will automatically generate a thumbnail from the first frame of the video. Now you can have it generate from any timestamp, but first frame is usually pretty good. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to say $video. So it needs to be a variable .file path, and then we're going to say /ik-thumbnail.jpg. Now this part, right, is what's going to generate the thumbnail for us. So it's automatically going to look at the video, create the thumbnail as the first frame, and then give it to us. So again, super cool feature of ImageKit. We're then going to say the alt is the video.title. We're going to say the width is equal to 320. The height is equal to 180. We're going to say the class name is equal to thumbnail dash image, and then we can actually apply a transformation as well. So to do the transformation, we can do transformation like this, and then we can put a list of transformations we want to apply. So I want this to be width 320 and height 180. So again, ImageKit also allows for transformation. So again, we can transform the image by just passing this transformation parameter, and it will automatically apply a width and height adjustment and then return the image to us. We can do all kinds of other transformations with the images. For example, we can make them black and white. We can remove the background. We can add text on top of them. In fact, I'll quickly show you what I mean. So if we look at the Next.js ImageKit SDK, and we scroll down, let's just find transformations. Where's transformations? Here you go, change transformations. You can see that you can do like rotation of the image. You can add an overlay, right? You can do multiple transformations in one. You can do a solid color. All kinds of stuff you can apply here by literally just writing it. And then behind the scenes, what this, component will do is it will actually adjust the URL that's being used to pull the image to apply the transformation to it. That's because, again, the transformations in ImageKit are just query parameters. For example, if we go to transform and adapt, you can see that these are how you apply transformations to different assets stored on ImageKit. So it's very useful, very easy to do that. And when we use the Next.js component that we're using, it's automatically just applying these transformations in the background for us. So I'll show you what I mean in a second in more detail, but now we have just kind of this image card which represents the video. Now what we'll do is we'll have another div. We'll have a class name, and this is going to be equal to the thumbnail-info. Now inside of here, we're going to have an h3 tag. The h3 is going to be class name equal to the thumbnail-title, and this is going to say video.title. We then will have the date that this was uploaded. So we're going to have class name is equal to thumbnail-date. And then here, this is going to be a new date of the video created at, because this is a string, .to ISO string, okay, .split at t0, so that we just get the date and we don't get the time. Okay, and then let's just format that, and that looks a lot easier to read. Okay, so that should now display all of the videos for us with their thumbnail. Let's see if that actually works if we go to the video library. But in order to see the video library, we have to just write this first page, which is the home page, which needs to be a React component. Okay, so for the home page, what we're going to write is the following. We're just going to say import the video library, and we're going to say import get all videos. What we'll do is we'll just create a variable. So we're going to say const videos is equal to get all videos. And then we're going to return a simple div. So let's do that. So return div. We actually don't even need any class name, and we can just have an h1 and say, you know, class name is equal to the page title. We're going to say welcome or something like video player. And then what we can do is just render the video player, or video library, sorry. And actually, why am I saying video player? This should be video library. And then we're going to pass the videos. So we're going to say videos is equal to videos like so, and then format that, and we are good to go. Okay, so we just wrote this simple home page. So now hopefully we're not going to get an error when we go to that page. And if we look here, let's refresh. And what does it say? The default export is not a React component in /watch ID page. Okay, so that's because we're going to /watch. Let's go to the home page, and you can see it says Tim's video. For some reason, the thumbnail is not showing up, which we'll have a look at here in 1 second, but at least it is rendering something. Okay, so I just looked at the console, and it looks like the URL endpoint for some reason is not working properly. So if we go to env, let's see what's wrong. We have next public ImageKit URL endpoint is equal to this. That should be loading, but maybe we just didn't have it in the correct area here. So let's see if we go to the layout. Okay, let's just recopy this value here. And you know what we might have to do? We might just have to restart the terminal. Okay, and it looks like if I just look at the video player that I think we had the wrong variable name here. So I'm just going to paste in the correct one. Yeah, next public ImageKit URL endpoint. That's what we had in the env. So just making sure that we have the correct one there. And then if we go to the layout, let's make sure that we have the correct one here as well. Okay, and it looks like we do. So hopefully now that's going to fix it. And boom, there you go. We can see that the thumbnail is appearing and showing up on screen. Now, just for a test, let's go to the video library, and let's see what happens if we just remove this and just use the generated thumbnail from ImageKit. So if we go here now and we refresh, it will just take a second the first time that it loads because it's just caching the data and generating the thumbnail image, but we should be able to see it in 1 sec here. Okay, cool. It just took a second, and you can see now that it's loaded, and this was the first frame of the video, so that's what it generated as the image. And now the next times when we load, it's instantly showing up here because it's already generated the image. Again, some of the transformations, when you apply them, they will just take a second because ImageKit does need to process the data in the background. So just keep that in mind if you're going to do like, custom image transformations and all of that kind of stuff, which is, quite useful. It just does take a second. So, you might get a little bit of latency on the first time that you run it until it's been generated. Okay, so now we have the video library. we have the video upload, and what we need to do next is we need to build the actual player and the watch page. So let's go into the player, let's go to simple player, and let's code this part out. Once we have the player, we then can generate the videos on the watch page, and we can, well, actually watch them. All right, so for our simple player, same thing. This is going to be a client component. We're going to import use state from React. We're also going to import our video and build src from, and this is going to be ImageKit, so at ImageKit next. We're then going to import, and this is going to be video as video type from, and this is going to be at, and this is, I believe, /types/video, okay. And then we're going to import transformation, actually from here as well. So let's import transformation. Okay, cool. So now we're going to make an interface, and this is going to be the simple player props. Okay, and this is just going to take in a video, which is going to be of the video type. And it's also going to take in a URL endpoint, which is a string. Okay, we're then going to go and we're going to say const, and we're just going to make a function called strip, which we're going to need in a second here. This function is going to take in some string, and it's just going to strip off a few characters that we don't need when we do a specific transformation that we're going to apply here in a second. So we're going to say p.starts with, okay, slash. So if it starts with slash, then what we're going to do is say p.slice1. So just remove that leading slash, otherwise just return p. Okay, then we're going to say const min. Okay, so const min underscore q is going to be equal to 1. This is minimum quality. And then const max underscore q is going to be equal to 100, which is the maximum quality of a video, because I'm going to show you how we can adjust the quality when we render the video. We're then going to say export default function simple player. This is going to take in the video and the URL endpoint from the simple player props. Okay, we're then just going to make some state called quality, so we can adjust the quality of the video in a second. So we're going to say quality set quality is equal to use state, and then we're going to say video quality, okay, question mark dot 50. So if we don't have a video quality already stated, by default, we're just going to use a quality of 50. Now I'm going to explain how the quality works in 1 second, but the lower the quality, the faster the video is to load. Now you can actually reduce the quality significantly without actually lowering the visual quality or seeing like a ton of artifacts. So having a video at quality 80, for example, is going to load significantly faster than 100, but it's almost impossible to actually see the difference in quality. So ImageKit will allow us to do this so that we can optimize the delivery of the video, which is quite useful. Anyways, you'll see in a second how that works. We're then going to say const transformation, okay, and we're going to say transformation here is an array, and we're going to have an array of transformations that we want to apply to this video. So what I'm going to do here is create a list of transformations to the video that we're going to apply based on the content that we uploaded for the video. So for example, if we have a video watermark, we want to put the watermark on the video. So like I was mentioning, there's all these transformations, one of which is a watermark or a video or image overlay. So on this video, we can actually put an image on top of it, just like a watermark, and that's what I'm going to apply here in this transformation list, as well as changing the format of the video if it's provided. So we're going to say, okay, like this, quality, okay, inside of an array, so that this is just going to be a quality transformation to apply it using the quality that's set here that we changed later. We're then going to say dot, 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 and then inside of parentheses, we're going to say video dot format question mark. So if the video has a particular format, then we're going to have an array here, which has a object, which is going to say format, and then video dot format. Okay, so we can change the format to be like WebP, MP4, whatever, right? We're able to do that. And then otherwise, sorry, so just go to otherwise, we're going to have an empty array. Okay, we're then going to say dot, 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 and then same thing, we're going to put parentheses, and we're going to say video dot watermark, like so, and then we're going to have a question mark and array. Then inside of the array, we're going to have an object, and we're going to say overlay. Okay, and then this is going to be type image as, and we're going to say const like that. Then we're going to have input, and the input is going to be strip the video dot watermark dot, and this is going to be the image path. Okay, so let's put it like that. Then we're going to say the position is going to be equal to this focus. Okay, and then the video dot watermark dot position. Okay, or by default, we're just going to go bottom underscore right for the position. And we're going to say transformation. Okay, and then this is going to be like this. And we're going to say the width is the video dot watermark dot width, or default value of 120. Now we're going to say, okay, we have the question mark here, else just empty array. So if we don't have a watermark, then we just won't apply that transformation. So we've just created a list of transformations that we can apply to the video when we use the video component here from ImageKit in 1 second. Now I just want to go to the docs and show you kind of how this works. So if we have a look at, let's go back to Next.js here, you can see in the video component that we can provide a bunch of different stuff, which you're going to see here in 1 second. Now, one thing we can provide is a list of transformations, and the transformations I was just showing you here is, some of the ones that you can apply. So for example, adding overlays, if we go here, you can see you can add an overlay, which is like an image. So we've uploaded some watermark image to ImageKit, and then we can just apply that right on top of the video, and it will exist for the entire video as a watermark on the video, which is super cool. You can do the same thing with the images, but I'm just kind of showing you what it is that we're about to create here. For example, you have video, right? Source, controls, transformation. Transformation example is an overlay where you could even put like another video on top of the video and have a video in a video, which is kind of cool. And there's a bunch of other features that you can use. Like I can't possibly go over all of them, but what I'm doing, I'm just finding in the documentation and then writing the code here. Okay, so anyways, that is going to be, the transformation. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is get the thumbnail. So we're going to say const, and then this is going to be thumbnail src is equal to video dot thumbnail path. Or if that doesn't exist, we're going to have backticks, we're going to have $, and like I said before, we're going to generate the thumbnail. So we're going to say video.filePath, okay, and then this is going to be /ik-thumbnail.jpg like so. So if we don't have an image thumbnail uploaded, then we'll just use one from ImageKit that generates it from the first frame. We're then going to say const poster URL is equal to build src. This is a special function that will build an ImageKit URL for us. Now inside of here, we're going to say this is the URL endpoint. The source is going to be the thumbnail source. And then we're going to say the transformation we want to apply is that we want the size of the thumbnail to have a width of 1920 and a height of 1080. Now we could apply any other transformations that we want here. We could rotate the image. We could change it to black and white. We could remove the background, right? Like any transformations you can do using this build source function, which just builds this special URL for you in ImageKit that allows you to generate these different images, videos, etc. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to return a div. This div is going to have class name equal to simple player. And we're going to display the video. Okay, so to display the video, we're going to use the video component. For the video component, this can just be a self-enclosed component. We're going to say the key is equal to quality. Okay, you'll see why we need that in a second. We're then going to say the URL endpoint is equal to the URL endpoint. We're going to say src is equal to, and this is going to be the video.filePath. Okay, so video.filePath, which will reference it on ImageKit. We're going to say transformation is equal to transformation. We're going to say the poster. So poster is the image that will show while it's loading, is the poster URL. We're going to say controls, which is going to show the various controls. We're going to say plays in line. We're going to say preload is equal to metadata. And then we're just going to add a quick style tag directly on this, where we're going to say width is 100% and aspect ratio is 16/9. Okay, so that should display the video. Now, I'm also just going to add one little thing here that's going to allow us to change the quality. So I'm just going to have div, and I'm going to say class name is going to be equal to simple-player-controls. Inside the div, I'm just going to have a label. This label is going to say class name is equal to simple-player-quality-label. Okay, and we're going to say this is HTML4, and this is going to be the quality input that we have below in a second. And this is going to say quality. We're then going to have an input tag. And for the input tag, this is just going to allow us to change the quality of the video. So I'm going to say ID is quality dash input, type is equal to number, min is equal to min underscore q, max is equal to max underscore q. We're going to say value is equal to quality, and we're going to say on change, and we're going to call a function here in a second that I will write. We're going to say class name is equal to, and then this is going to be simple player quality input. Okay, cool, like that. All right, so that is going to be the input field. Now we just need to write this on change function. So the on change function is just going to be like this. So we're going to say const on quality change. Okay, and this is going to take in e. So e is equal to the react dot change event, and then this is an HTML input element. Okay, and then what this is going to do is say const n is equal to e dot target dot value as number, and then we're going to say if not, because we need to make sure this is a valid value before we change it. So we're going to say if not number is not a number of n, then we're going to say set quality, and we're going to set it at the math dot minimum of the max underscore q and the math dot maximum of the the max min underscore q and the math dot round of n. I know it seems a little bit complicated, but we need to ensure that the quality input here cannot be changed outside of 1 to 100. So then for the on change, we're just going to call the function, which is on quality change. Okay, and then let's format that so it's a little bit easier to read. Okay, so let's zoom out. So now we have the player, where when we load the player, which we'll do in 1 second, we will generate a list of transformations, including the watermark, the format, the different quality control. We will generate the thumbnail that we're going to display for the image. We'll have a little bit of an input to change the quality. And then we will use the Next.js ImageKit component by default, which will automatically handle loading up all of this stuff for us. Okay, cool. We then have the input for changing the quality. Now, in order for that to load, we do need to display that on the watch page. So we're just going to go to this page.tsx, write that, and then we are pretty much done. Just a few small things after this. Okay, so on the watch page, we're just going to import, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, the not found from, and this is going to be next/navigation, like so. Okay, we're then going to import the get video, okay, by ID from the storage. We're going to import the simple player, and we're going to import the link from next link, and we're going to import our styles. So we're going to say @/styles/watch.css, like so. We're then going to say interface props. Okay, we're going to say this is params because we're going to need the ID of the video, and this is going to be a promise, which is going to have an ID and a string. We're then going to say export. Okay, export const dynamic is equal to force dynamic. We're then going to say export default async function watch page, and this is going to be params. So let's put params, and then this is props. And what we're going to do is get the ID. So we're going to say const, okay, ID is equal to await params, like so. We're going to say const video is equal to get video by ID, and then we're going to load from the ID. And then we're going to say if not video, so if not video, then we can just call not found, so it gives us a 404. Otherwise, we can return the video. So we're going to return div. Okay, inside of the div, we're going to have a link. This link is just going to say back to library. We're going to have an href, which is going to be equal to just slash, and we're going to have class name, which is equal to back-link. Okay, we're then gonna have a div. We're gonna have class name is equal to video dash container. We're then gonna have the simple player. For the simple player, we're gonna render the video. So we're gonna say video is equal to the video, and the URL endpoint. Okay, so URL endpoint here is gonna be equal to the process.env dot, and then this is next underscore public underscore ImageKit underscore URL underscore endpoint, like so. Okay, why is that giving me an issue? It says could be undefined. Okay, we're just gonna put an exclamation point here or a bang because we know it's not gonna be undefined. Cool, so that's the div, and then outside of the div, we're gonna have a simple h1 tag. Okay, so let's go h1. For this, we're just gonna put the title of the video. So we're just gonna say video.title, and we'll put class name is equal to, and then this is gonna be video-title. Then we're gonna have a video description. So we're gonna say video.description and paragraph tag, class name is equal, so class name is equal to video-description, and then this is gonna be video.description, like that. Let's spell it correctly, and description, we are good to go. Okay, so that should now be the watch page. So if we go back here and we click one of the videos, it should bring us to a watch page. And you can see that we have the video, and it's just gonna take a second again on the first load, but you can see it loads up the image nice and large, and then we should be able to run and see the video. Okay, perfect, and the video loads. I'm just not gonna play the audio because it's copyrighted audio, and you can see that we can scrub through it, right? We can go here, we can change the playback speed, we can make it full screen. Okay, we can change the quality as well. So if we change the quality to be like 20, for example, okay, can I do this? Let's change it to be like 10, and let's just see if we get a lower quality. Okay, you can see here that it's obviously a little bit grainier now because we put it at quality 10, but it did load faster. So you can change the quality, mess around with it. That's why I added the control. And there's actually a lot of other things you can do here with the video, but I just didn't want to overwhelm us right now. So what I want to do now is I want to test the watermarking feature by uploading another video and a watermark. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna upload this now. Notice that I included a watermark file, and let's see if we can get one. Okay, I gotta do another one here to show up. So this is the watermark that I'm gonna go with, and let's see if it will appear in the bottom right. Okay, so it took a second here, but you can see now that if we have a look at the video, we can see the watermark. Let me just let it play a second so that the video player goes down, and you can see that it's now baked into the image, and it is working. Now the way this works is because of the URL that's being loaded, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but if I look in the network tab, and we refresh here, we should be able to see what's actually loading the video, and we can see what the URL was to get that source. So I was able to find it, and this is the URL in the browser bar here. You can see this is the name of the video, 1080p, right? Loading the MP4. You can see we have this, TR, which is transformation. This is the quality, and then we're loading a watermark image like this, okay? So just showing you, these are kind of the URLs, and if you actually just run this URL in your browser, you'll see it literally pops up and you get the video, right? So it can be displayed to any app. It doesn't have to just be our video player. And notice how fast it is now that it's cached, right? And we've loaded it again with a lower quality. And if we go up to quality 100, then it's going to be a larger file to load, so it will take a little bit longer. You can see it's taking a second, but we should get a higher quality video when it does load. Now also, just one small bug I was noticing is that we were getting some errors saying like some weird hydration thing. So I just added this suppress hydration warning to this input field here. When I did that in the simple player, it went away, and now we are kind of good to go. So you can see now that we've pretty much built a full video player that works with the watermarks, works with multiple transformations. You can change the quality, you can adjust the settings, all of that. Now, one other thing I'll mention is that if you want this to be even faster, you can use a feature from ImageKit called adaptive bitrate streaming. So I'll just quickly bring it up, adaptive. Okay, let's see if it pulls up here, adaptive bitrate streaming, otherwise known as ABS. Now, this is not compatible with all of the transformations or this Next.js component, but if you don't want all of those customizations, you just want extremely fast load times, adaptive bitrate streaming is super interesting because it will actually automatically change the quality of the video based on the bandwidth of the user's computer so that you get the fastest load times, and then it can scale up the quality as needed. So I'll leave a link to this in the description. You can read through it, but it's very useful for streaming the videos in kind of an efficient manner. And you can see that you can just get this HSL streaming URL by adding a transformation to this kind of IK master thing. Again, you got to read the docs. I'm not going to go through all of it, but the point is it will allow you to stream the video faster and have it automatically adjust, which is super cool. So anyways, guys, with that said, that is going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.